My name is Halal Ernie. This is PictureThisNewMedia, as it says in the top right. Um, and today I am going to be going over this week's new comic book day haul on Wednesday, March the 8th, 2023. Um, and I am going to go over uh, any number ones and any ones that I recommend to you. I'm going to go over. I'm going to be skipping over the ones that I don't really care about. And if I skip over something that you like, please let me know in the comments, so that way I can take a look at it and see if it's something that I should be covering, reviewing, and checking out for you guys. Um, with that being said, let's go ahead and excuse me. I'm gross, I know. Sorry. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started with this week's new comic book day haul. Starting up with this first row, and it's going to be Batman. I haven't heard much on this certain series, but it looks interesting. I'll recommend it to Batman fans. Same with the Flash. I do not like Flash. This one actually kind of looks cringe. Training the daughter somehow, and I can only imagine how bad the movie's going to be. So I advise against that. Same with The Amazing Spider-Man. If you haven't seen my videos before, The Amazing Spider-Man has been taken over by a writer that has an agenda to make Peter Parker and Mary Jane look as inferior as possible. Next up, Moon Knight 21. I haven't kept up with this series. I had one, and I had a black, white, and red. I like the black, white, and red ones, but I I heard some bad news on this comic, basically. Next up, we have X-Men 20. I'm gonna skip. Avengers skip. Fantastic Four skip. Poison Ivy a hard pass. Heard some bad news about that writer and artist and editing choices. Spawn issue 339. I'm gonna highly recommend, and a new contender steps forward to claim the throne of hell. Now Spawn may have to seek help from one of his worst enemies in hopes of stopping this new threat. So it's kind of a new arc coming. We've got a new writer and a new artist. So we don't have Todd McFarlane taking over, basically. Next up is the Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo by DC Black Label. Highly recommend this one. Really great story, really interesting plot line. Really, I love it. I love it. It's a Black Label property, so it's a little bit darker than most of the Batman comics people are used to. Next up is Scarlet Witch, issue number 3 by Marvel. A hard pass. Don't like that character. Same with Nightcrawler's, the Sins of Sinister series. I'm not really interested in what's going on with that. I think it might be interesting if you know these characters. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing out on this one. Skipping Bounty Hunters, Super Adventures, Superman, John Kent. I actually thought they were gonna stop this guy's arc, so I guess congratulations. I don't know. Not my not my not my scene. Same with Mary Jane and Black Cat. I do like Spider-Man, but this one just looks very silly. Black Panther issue number 15. I'm going to skip. The Joker, the man who stopped laughing. The price is high and the story is bad. Star Wars: The High Republic issue number 6. I'm gonna skip. Rogue Sun number 11. I am I'm going to skip, but I highly recommend it, and I'm going to be getting the trade paperback version of this. Highly recommend it. Yeah. Monkey Prince, issue number 12, skip. X-23, skip. Silver Surfer, skip. New Mutants, Lethal Legend. I'm telling you now, I am going to skip, but let's see what it's about. The new Mutants, with all the classic thrills, best-selling, multiple award-winning. The Shadow King, human, demon bear themselves, with the rising star of Enid Bellon behind the. Okay. Shadow King, the human, demon bear themselves. The new mutants have faced some of the most cunning minds in the Marvel Universe and survive, and then someone starts to build a new lethal legion. Will Krakoa's youngest class be finally outmatched? Featuring fan favorites like Wolfsbane and Karma alongside explosive newcomers like Escapade. This is a series you can't miss. Everything leads to the fall of X. Don't sleep on the start. That sounds so silly. The cover looks so silly. Ugh. They are ruining the X-Men. Straight up. Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. Predator #1. Let's see what's up with that. Marvel usually does pretty good with Predator, surprisingly. Theta Berwick is going to be the main character. There's a really angry person. Yeah, so they're annoyed with the way that they're coming out with it and stuff. So on a planet far from Earth, 8 strangers find themselves in a deadly game, but this time the predators aren't the only ones on the hunt. Someone has the whatever that is in their sights, Yuja, and they have been searching for this game preserve for a long time. Prepare for a brutal, carnage-filled adventure that will turn everything you thought you knew about Predator on its head. Prey did that pretty well. Next up is Static, Shadows of Dakota, issue #2, skip. Star Wars Sanasteros 2, skip. Clear by Dark Horse Comics. Let's see. In the not too distant future, mankind no longer sees the world as it truly is. The invention of the neurological filters has made it so one can view reality however they may choose. Old monochrome, Hollywood monochrome, zombie apocalypse anime, the possibilities are endless. Neo Shamus and Dunes is one of the handfuls who choose to live without a filter. When the city of Old Flame reveals foul play, Dunes is set on a wild, twisting mystery that will take from the city a deadly underworld to even deadlier heights of wealth and power. Sounds interesting, but I think that what I am going to do is skip that one. Now, it does sound interesting enough. You know what? It's $4.99. I might give it a shot. Scott Snyder's in there. I didn't see that. Yeah, I'll pull this. I'll pull this. Next up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, skip. Know Your Station, skip, but I'm gonna recommend it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna recommend it. Next up is The Flash, 1 Minute War, start of the clock. The battle begins. I'm telling you now, I'm gonna do a hard pass, but I'll read it for you guys. Contains Flash 790 and 791, 92. As any super speedster worth their salt will tell you, time can move pretty slow for an incredibly fast. So, what happens when an entire armada is conquering speedster aliens shows up to Earth's doorstep? The most intense battle Earth has ever waged in the span of 60 seconds begins. 599. Yeah, not my scene, but there you go. Blood Tree by Image Comics, issue number 2. Highly recommend this one. I do not know why this series has not been completely pulled. Highly recommend that one. Next up is Stoneheart by Image Comics and Emma Kubert. The artist behind Frank Miller presents. Alright. Bubbly and headstrong Shade Whisperer has been inexplicably exiled from her magical guild and relocated, left only with vague memories and romanticized hope. But when she hears a sinister voice in her head that awakens power beyond her comprehension, she travels her past and present to unravel a prestigious place within mystical land of Athia. That sounds really cool. A little bit generic, but really cool. I am going to get that one for sure. Next up is Two Graves by Image Comics, issue number 5. I am going to highly recommend that one, and I'm going to possibly get the trade paperback of this one. Next one is Children of the Black Sun by Ablaze Publishing, issue number 3. Highly recommend it. Next is West of Sundown by Vault Comics. Highly recommend it if I get it. If Zia Comics still has it, I'm gonna get it. Next up is Black Tape by AWA. I highly recommend it. I might get it if they have number 1 on them. Next up is Vampirella vs. Red Sonja by Dynamite Entertainment. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna get it as well. Next up is Almighty by Image Comics. I'm going to skip it. Let me know if you are going to skip it. I'm gonna also skip traveling to Mars, but I do recommend this one. It's pretty decent if you like the space comics. Next up is Gospel, issue number 5. I am going to skip it because they don't carry it in my comic book shop, but I'm going to get the trade paperback of this one, and I highly recommend that you get this one as well. Next up, My Hero Academia is being released was released yesterday, so make sure to pick that up. Next up is Dynamite Cherish, issue number 5. I am going to skip it. I wasn't a real fan of Cherish from Dynamite Entertainment, but let me know if you are, and let me know if you like it. Next up, by Mad Cave Studios, is Tales of Nottingham, issue number 2. I am going to get it if it's possible. I didn't see it last time. Issue number 1 made an appearance, but we'll see if it makes an appearance now that I did this pull. Maybe number 3 might show up. Next up is Assassin's Apprentice. I highly recommend this one by Dark Horse Comics. Very interesting little story there. I highly recommend. Next up, Deja Thoris by Dynamite Entertainment. This is gonna be just a new arc, all new a version of the Princess of Mars. She looks really good in this one. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, they always got some great covers of this one, but this one's my favorite for sure. Next up, Eisner, blah 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 blah. Young Princess Deja has lived a sheltered existence, growing up behind a vast palace walls guarded by Helium's greatest warriors. But when the entire royal family is attacked by horrific Chaldean Martians, Deja narrowly escapes into the wilds of Barsoom, with no recourse but to strike out on a quest to save her kingdom. Holy crap! That cover price is $100 for this. Whoa! Wowie wowie wow! Let's see. That one is $3.99. There you go. Next up, Space Job. Let me make sure. Space Job by Dark Horse Comics. I'm going to skip. As you can tell by the cover, that's what it's all about. Not my cup of tea. We stopped doing bad idea comics at my shop, at my local comic shop. Scout Comics Kilchella. It's a cute idea, but not really my favorite. My favorite story. It's basically they go and kill people at Coachella, and it's something, I don't know. It just didn't interest me at all. Next up is Little Red Ronin edition, issue number 1. I really liked Little Red Ronin the first time, so let's see what this is about. A limited time Japanese language collectible printed edition of Red Ronin number 1. Beautiful traditional is fully translated into Japanese. Well, it's a collectible. It's a neat idea. I am going to skip. I'm gonna stick with these. Cute idea though. Cute. I'll put it on the want list. Next up is Godzilla Rivals Mothra vs. Titanosaurus, issue number 1. I think this might even be a one-shot. A Mothra cocoon has washed ashore near the big city, and a team of kaiju specialists has been developed to study it. The team of the scientists has discovered that kaiju of this world may have a way of telepathically communicating with each other as a way to mark their individual stomping grounds, and have brought along the experimental device with the hope to deflect this field of telepathic energy so that they can tune it to Mothra's frequency and chart its migration patterns in the future. When they activate the device, however, they are shocked to discover that they are two sources of telepathic waves, the cocoon and the kaiju beneath the ocean, Titanosaurus. I love Mothra. I will pull it. I'm not sure if I'll get it. Yeah. Next up is ARC, issue number 1. Illegal poaching is a billion-dollar industry, a black market trade violently interwoven with bloody work of warlords and international traffickers. South African industrial heir Noah Aaron has dedicated himself to battling this evil on 2 fronts in 2 separate lives. Day by day, he's an environmental lobbyist and an aggressive corporate reformer. By night, Noah leads ARC, Animal Rights Coalition, an armed crusade against animal criminals responsible. An elephant hunter, sign me up. It's an interesting plot. Definitely something I've never heard of or seen before. Well, not heard of, but never heard this type of story. Well, I'm. Anyways, it looks good. I'm gonna recommend this one, and I might pick it up if it's there. Jujutsu Kaisen 215 came out yesterday. Spy Family number 76 came out yesterday as well. Betty and Veronica, Friends Forever, Rock and Roll, issue number 1 by Archie Comics. I'm going to skip, but I don't know, just not. I've grown out of Archie. I like some of their adult version type of ones, but any of these jumbos and rock candy stuff, like, nah, it's not my thing. The Gimmick, issue number 1 by Ahoy Comics, a hard-hitting action drama written by a rising star, Joanne Starter, Sirens of the City. Pro wrestling champ Shane Bryan, ring persona. His gimmick is forgettable. He's a nice guy, but his secret is more colorful. He has super strength, and he punches a fist straight through his opponent's brain in front of 2.4 million horrified viewers. Everything changes. Now Shane needs a new gimmick and a new life. Wow. I don't know. It's something I definitely never expected to be in a comic book. We'll see. We'll see what it's like. I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping it's a good one. Next up is Scout Comics Captain Suave. I'm gonna skip, and I think you should too. It's a silly comic. Gretel by Zenscope. Speeds of Despair, issue number 1. Let's see. Now Gretel and Caliber must travel to South America as they hunt for the next piece of Mother Margaret's deadly puzzle. But when they encounter a witch who forces them to look into their past and face their greater sins, can they come out with their souls intact? Not really my cup of tea, but it may be interesting. I will recommend it though. Highly recommend it. Definitely a good story, but just not something that I want in my collection. Oswald and the Star Chaser by Scout Comics. Torn from his training after King Feck usurped the throne, Space Knight Oswald Bretters embarks on a quest to save the Starlands. As headstrong as he is, even Oswald knows that he can't restore his fallen kingdom alone, so he searches for his childhood heroes to bolster his ranks. With the watchful eye of King Feck omnipresent, Oswald luckily runs into all-star help. The mysterious mercenary Star Chaser joins the cause, but can she really be trusted? It all starts here in Adventure of a Lifetime, at the edge of space. I think for me this might be a little too young for me. Not really my cup of tea. Like, it's a good setting and everything, but I think it's gonna be handled not as entertaining for me. This might be entertaining more to like kids that like space stuff, but this isn't gonna keep my attention at all. So I'll recommend it to teenagers that are starting off in comics, but definitely not a long-time comic book fan. Next up is Trident. Oh wait, nope, none of these. Alright, well, that's gonna do it here for this this comic book recommendations video. I hope I helped you out here, and I hope I gave you some good picks. And with that being said, you have a great day. Enjoy, and those watching on stream, I will be right back.